Hey, seventh graders, welcome to your engineering internship. I'm kind of excited to start this little mini unit with you guys. So I hope you guys are excited to start learning about what you're going to be doing and what that's going to look like throughout this unit. Today is day one. Welcome to your engineering internship. So in this internship, you guys are going to be building little energy bars that are going to help meet certain metabolic needs for different people. So either patients or rescue workers that might be working on something like an earthquake relief, something like that, where maybe we're trying to dig people out of rubble, other people are injured and in the hospital, different things like that. So you guys are going to learn all about your different target populations today. You're learning targets for this lesson, day one. I can identify the 3 design criteria of this engineering challenge. So you guys are going to kind of learn a little bit about what your goals are for your energy bars. And I can define the carbohydrate and protein needs of different individuals and different target populations and explain why they have these certain dietary needs. Okay, so based on their situation, if they're injured, to what extent, if they're a rescue worker, to what extent are they moving around, and how does that kind of frame out their different metabolic needs and what they would need differently from food items. Okay, so moving on to your bell ringer. You guys have a couple articles to read. None of them are really long in this, but we're kind of getting a lot of the foundation out in this first day. Tomorrow we're going to start doing a lot of research between taste testing and researching stuff on the internet. So you guys are going to start by kind of just reviewing what we learned about in the metabolism unit. So read chapter 2, meeting your metabolic needs. Your article looks like this. Okay, when you guys open this up, it probably won't go directly into your meeting your metabolic needs chapter. So go ahead, click on your table of contents right here, and then you guys are going to go to chapter 2. So we're going to kind of skip around a little bit. So meeting your metabolic needs. Your article looks a little bit like this. Okay, and again, it's a really good review for what you guys will be, what you did in the last unit and what you need to know and prepare for this unit. Okay, you guys will also take a look at this diagram, which should look fairly familiar to you guys. It's one of the modeling tools that we use for the metabolism unit. Okay, this represents how a healthy body looks. So obviously we can see food coming in, starch and protein through the mouth, going into our digestive system. We see some protein breaking down in our stomach, but most of our food is digested in our small intestine. So there's our starch getting broken into glucose, our protein getting broken into amino acids. And then once those are down and small enough to move into our bloodstream, you guys can see the glucose and the amino acids floating around. Okay, on the other side, we've got our respiratory system where we're taking in oxygen with each breath. It's going to our lungs. Oxygen is also already a small enough molecule, so you guys can see it going directly into our circulatory system here. And then from there, we can see glucose going into glucose storage, or it's going into our cells of the body. We can see our amino acids are reforming to make proteins that are allowing us to kind of grow, repair muscles, things like that. Okay, and then we can see our glucose combining with those oxygen in a process called cell respiration to make energy, carbon dioxide, and water for the body. Okay. So answer these questions after you've read that article and have reviewed your modeling tool. What does protein break down to when it's digested? What do carbohydrates like starch and sugar break down into when they are digested? What molecule or molecules are needed for growth and repair of cells, tissues, organs, etc. in the body? So I just kind of went over that in the modeling tool. It's also again in your guys' article. And then finally, what molecule or molecules are needed most for cellular respiration and energy production in the cells? So where do we get our most efficient form of energy at? Okay. Go ahead, take a second, pause this video while you complete the bell ringer for our day one welcome assignment. And then when you're done, come on back to the video and I'll explain where we're going next. Okay, so a little video for you guys to watch at home if you're working from home. It's called Welcome to Future. It's just going to kind of walk you guys through the premise of this whole project that we're going to be doing. When you right-click that assignment or that video link, it should open up to a little video about 2 minutes, 45 seconds long. So pause this. Take a second, watch this video, and when you guys are done, come back to this main video. All right, so 2 things that you guys should have seen and you will see in our coming articles and in the video is a vocab word called criteria. So this is the standards by which something may be judged. So at the end of this, when you guys have developed your protein bars and you guys are being judged, I'm going to look at these criteria that you're going to learn about here in a second and say, hey, did they meet these criteria or did they just build a protein bar for funsies? Okay, so, you know, are we making sure that the population that we're trying to feed is well fed. Okay. Metabolic needs, again, you guys could have picked that up, or you should have picked that up in the article you read in the Bell Ringer. Metabolic needs are what the body needs in order to undergo cellular processes. So obviously we know like cell respiration is a cellular process. So what do we need for cell respiration? Again, look back at your Bell Ringer if you're not sure. And then also for growth and repair. Okay, so how do we repair muscles? How do we repair basically anything in our body if we're injured or if we're just even working a lot and doing a lot of damage to our body? And then again, energy release. How do we get that energy to, function and to also help us grow and repair? Okay. After you guys have kind of reviewed that vocab, go ahead, open up the second article to read today. It's called Request for the Proposal. And this is very similar to the video you guys just watched, but it's really going to get into the meat and potatoes of what you guys have to do and what you need to focus on for the rest of this project. Okay, so go ahead, right-click that, open it up. Again, it's probably going to take you guys to the last article you read, which was Chapter 2. So go up to your table of contents, choose Chapter 1, Requests for Proposals. It's a very short article, so read through that, and then you guys will answer these questions based on that. Okay, so on slide 5, what are the 3 design criteria for this project? Again, this is going to be how we're judging to see if you guys were able to do the job as an intern. Okay, so what are our 3 criteria here? And then make sure you guys use your own words for all of this. What are the 2 target populations you guys will be designing your energy bar for? So we're going to be designing for different needs based on what these 2 target populations are doing or what their situation looks like. So what are your 2 target populations? So again, this had a little bit of reading for you guys, okay, which is going to take us into our next activity. So go ahead, finish your reading, request for proposals, and then finish your 2 questions on that. And when you're done, come back to this video and we'll move on to the next part. Okay, our last little part of this is doing some research on target populations. So I want you guys to kind of know about all the target populations and how their needs might vary. And then you guys are going to be assigned a target population, and that's going to be your focus for the rest of this assignment. But I want you guys to know and be able to compare all of these different target populations. So when you guys are trying to figure out what's best for yours, you guys kind of have a frame of reference to go through. Okay, so go ahead, right-click this video, open it up, or this article. Again, you'll probably have to go down to Chapter 4, Target Populations. Your guys' article looks like this. So go ahead, read about all of these. You guys are going to come back to this article a lot today. So when you guys are done with it, don't close out of it, because you guys are going to have to keep coming back and forth and back and forth and back and forth again. Okay? All right, the thing about this, the assignments and the days coming forward is anytime you guys see a star, that's going to be when you guys are working with your group. Okay? Obviously, you guys from home maybe haven't figured out who your group is going to be yet. You'll guys figure that out when you get home. But for right now, since you are working from home, you guys will need to kind of just go forward and work on this by yourself. And then when you get back to class, you guys will figure out where you guys fit in with your group. Most of them should be groups of 3. Okay. All right. So again, pause the video, read the article on slide 6, and then let's talk about slide 7. Okay. So these are our 2 target groups. We're going to be looking at patients. We have patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, patient 4. These kind of generalize all the people who might be injured during this relief situation. Okay, so it isn't just like one individual. It's like all the same patients with the same needs. So if you guys look, I already kind of did patient 4 for you guys. So you guys have some kind of idea of what this might look like and something to kind of go off of for your other patients based on their needs. So in the article, if I go down to my target population, which is patients, so after severe natural disasters, hospitals are often filled with patients who have varying needs. Some are in critical conditions, while others are less severely wounded. All patients need high levels of protein for the growth and repair processes. So, I mean, these are injured people. They have a lot of repair to do. Okay, such as healing broken bones or recovering from brain injuries. Without high levels of protein, their injuries will not heal properly or quickly. In addition to protein, these growth and repair processes require energy. To help themselves recover, some patients must also exercise. So obviously the ones who are a little bit less injured, or as they become a little bit more healed up, they might need to start doing some kind of like physical therapy or something to get going again, which requires additional energy. So it's really important to kind of think about where are they at in their healing process. Are they up and moving around? Are they still in bed and really their only energy is needed for their growth and repair, or are they trying to grow and repair and do physical therapy as well and need more energy? So these patients need carbohydrates to give them energy. So we know that carbohydrates digest into glucose, and we use the glucose and the oxygen to make energy in our cells or in our mitochondria of our cells. Okay. Overall, patients need a constant supply of energy that is not released too quickly or too slowly. So that's going to kind of lead us into our talk about glycemic index. We're not going to talk a lot about glycemic index today, but we will get into it a lot more when we start looking at our different food options in day 2. Which is going to be a 2-part assignment. So glycemic index is a measure of how quickly carbohydrates break down into glucose. If you guys know anyone with diabetes, or you guys have ever been around anyone with diabetes, when their blood sugar is low, they need something that's going to break down quickly and get into their bloodstream fast to try to raise their blood glucose levels so their body can function properly before any harm is done. So a measure of how quickly carbohydrates break down into glucose. So if you guys are looking at like a high glycemic index, generally those molecules tend to break down a little bit faster. Okay, so we'll look at that later. Okay, so let's take a look again at our article, and I'll do patient 4 for you guys. So I've already read about patients in general, which you guys will need that information to apply to all 4 of your patients. Okay, we already know that they are going to need a lot of protein. And they're going to need energy based on where they're at in their recovery process. So patient 1, these test users have improved so much they're almost ready to go home. They can be active, so they exercise often in order to rebuild their muscles. Patient 2, these test users have injuries that are not too bad. Some are rescuers who were injured while working. They are also able to exercise while their bodies repair themselves. Patient 3, these test users have serious injuries. They mostly stay in bed and can only get up for short periods of light exercise. Their bodies need energy for growth and repair. Okay, and then finally, the one that we're going to focus on, or I'm going to do for you guys as an example, is patient 4. These test users have life-threatening injuries, so they might be in critical condition, they might even be in like an ICU unit. They must stay in bed and can only move a little. Their bodies are doing growth and repair on a large scale. So above anything else, they need more protein for that growth and repair. They'll need a little bit of energy for that, but realistically not a lot. So let's go back to our table, and you guys can kind of see how I filled in patient 4. So recovery needs, not getting out of bed. Notice how I use my own words. I didn't just copy and paste that paragraph. So make sure that you guys don't just copy and paste, because I'm going to send it back to you. Okay, so these patients are not getting out of bed. They have a lot of growth and repair to do. Okay, so little energy needed. I could also probably add that in there. Little energy needed for movement. Let's do it that way. Oops. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's going to be kind of what our patient 4 is for his recovery needs. Okay, let's take a look at his protein needs. Because they are very injured, their biggest focus that their body needs is protein, 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 protein. Okay, for all the growth and repair they need to do to their muscles, their brain, their other organs, whatever the case, there really isn't a spot in your body that doesn't have protein. Okay, so with that being said, protein needs is going to be a very high need. Okay, carbohydrate needs, we need energy for the growth and repair, but this patient is only doing growth and repair. So it's not getting out of bed, not doing any physical therapy, not even getting close to that. So I marked the carbohydrate need as low because they just really don't need a lot of energy. Okay, glycemic index. This one's a little trickier. So if you guys notice, we haven't really talked a ton about glycemic index. So if you guys notice, I've already done these for you guys. So all of our patients kind of need some fast energy for immediate growth and repair, but they also need some long-term energy. So I marked their glycemic index as low. So when they eat foods, they want some that release sugar right away, but they want some that take a little bit longer to digest and get into the bloodstream and are a little bit slower digestion. So we put medium on this for all of our glycemic index needs. Okay, if you guys notice for rescue workers, same thing, I've already filled in your glycemic index. Some of these have really low glycemic index. They need their energy to last for a long time. Okay, some might have high. They need their energy right now. Okay, some medium, some low. So keep that in mind as you guys are going through the research, the rescue people, what their glycemic index looks like. So you guys are just focusing on their recovery needs, like even though they're not injured, a hard day of moving rubble, they're going to see some recovery as well. I mean, it's just like if you guys have a big sporting event or you go and hike a mountain, you have recovery needs after you're done doing that physical labor as well. So when we talk about rescue workers and recovery needs, it's not the same kind of recovery needs as our patients, but they have recovery needs regardless. Okay, go ahead, take a couple minutes, and go ahead and complete side 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then when you're done, come back and I'll explain your exit ticket for you today. Okay, so you guys won't be able to quite finish this whole exit ticket just yet, unless you guys already know what the members of your group are. So in class, you guys will choose the members of your group. You guys will be working in groups of 3. I think I'll have like maybe one group of 4, but we'll see. Okay, once you guys are with your group, I will give you an assigned group number. You guys won't need this group number again towards the end. The whole purpose of that is you guys are going to be working with period 2 or period 1, basically the other class period, to judge each other's energy bars at the end of this. So I don't want any names to be associated with your guys' product. I want it to be blind so they don't make choices based on who their friends are. So you guys will have a group and that will be your anonymous group, and you will not share that with anyone else. So when period 2 comes to judge, they judge based on how well you did with this project, meeting your criteria, taste, cost, all of that. Okay, and taking care of, first and foremost, your guys' patients or your rescue workers. Okay, my class is assigned the blank target population. So for this one, I'm going to have class period 1 is going to be rescue workers. So if you guys know you're in period 1, you guys can circle rescue workers. If you guys are period 2, you guys are going to be my patients. Okay, and then individually, I will assign your group, whether you guys are patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, patient 4, or the rescue worker 1, 2, 3, or 4. So again, you'll have to wait for this one. So really the only thing you guys can do right now, unless you know your group ahead of time, is circle first period rescue workers or second period patients. Okay, the rest you'll have to get when you come back. Okay, finally, the last part of your exit ticket. This is kind of a refresher from what you guys did in 6, 7, and 8. Okay, once you figure out what your target group is, you guys are going to kind of refresh yourself and refocus yourself. So what's your group's recovery needs? Okay, what's your target group's protein needs? What's your target group's carbohydrate needs? And what's your glycemic index needs? And we kind of might edit these as I kind of help you guys correct them. When you guys do day 2, you guys will get a corrected list. Just in case you weren't quite accurate here, you guys will have an accurate list to go on. But this just kind of sums up what you guys are doing for the day. Okay, anyway, that's all for today. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you soon.